Good morning, gamers. Hey, welcome back to the Full Grip. My name is Daryl, and today we're going to continue our budget to Mythic rank ladder. We're still looking at Bronze 3. We did rank up yesterday from Bronze 4 to Bronze 3. Hopefully we get into Bronze 2 today. Just a reminder, we are playing the mono blue budget deck. We got the big doofus when this loads up. We got the big doofus here. The Tolarian Terror gets smaller with each instant and sorcery that we put in the graveyard. Costs less. The Haunty Djinn, which is our big win con, gets stronger with every instant and sorcery spell in the graveyard. The Ledger Shredder is going to be our card filtration. Also gets bigger with every second spell each turn because we can connive, ditch spells, and gain a +1/+1. Couple card draw spells: Flow for Knowledge, Thirst for Discovery, Impulse, and Consider. And then all of our protection spells and our tempo spells: Fading Hope, Shore Up, Slip Out the Back, and March of the Swirling Mist. So it's a pretty good budget deck. We're only looking at 10 rares between the Haunty Djinn, Ledger Shredder, and March of the Swirl Mist. But it's very competitive. Does reach top 8 in most international tournaments recently. So with that being said, let's get into the games. MTGA Arena Player. Original name, I like it. Game's lagging just a little bit. No creatures to start, so definitely gonna mulligan. Keep that, and I'll ditch the Impulse. Let me try and clean it all up. There we go. He needs to be out in the middle. Alright. Got blue-black lands from the opponent. Ledger Shredder should be good for maybe one turn. If we can keep him up for the one turn, we should be able to keep him up for the rest of the game. Fetch land, so we're looking at Esper. The second one out. And with these two out, we should be able to hold them up for quite a while. We do have the Shore Up and the Slip Out the Back to keep them alive if they do target removal. Discard one card. That's fine. It can connive all at once. My turn. Alright. So I'm going to connive myself to get both of those triggers. It's going to give us a massive card advantage. I'm going to get rid of the Slip Out the Back so that I can get the counter. And we'll keep that as well. I'll take 4, that's fine. My turn. So we should be expecting a Wandering Emperor next turn, which I'm... No, they don't have the 2 white. Okay. Let's do this then. Let's get him out. Let's bait out a kill spell. What's going to be target creature? Target spell. Okay. That's fine. It's basically a tempo play. With some lifelink. I'm not going to attack. I need to stay back and block. Hopefully he starts casting multiple spells. Because then I could start conniving on my end. The slip out the back would have been nice to have right now. Alright, so I get a +1/+1. So I'm going to block here. Shore up, get my +1 counter. The conductor's gonna die. He's gonna get access to the exiled cards. He's gonna have too many cards in hand and no mana to play, so he's gonna have to discard quite a bit. But it's all cards that it's all cards that connives. So he has quite a bit of synergy on his end, which is just nuts. I don't think this is going to be a win. Pretty sure this is going to be a loss. But I do want to play it out just to make sure. So I could Jin. He plays whatever he plays. Jin for a blocker. He plays what he plays. I could either shore up or Fading Hope next turn. Save my guys. I don't think he's running counter spells. I think he's running all creatures. There's the charm. Okay. This will get me... This won't get me big enough. But I will be able to protect him. I need one more spell in the graveyard to be able to win in combat versus the Interceptor. There's his Connive, which triggers me. Okay. He has guys on the ground. I'm going to keep the Terror. Because I need a big blocker on the ground. Flow of Knowledge is the spell we need. Refuel our hand. So he basically has it to where anything he connives just goes under his conductor. Seven, 5. He'd only be able to kill one, which I'm okay with. All right. So I can flow. Or consider. Alright, these plays have to be done correct. Flow or consider. If I flow, I pretty much get land either way. I got big enough dudes to where I could block unless he connives more. Get rid of the consider and an island. Play an island so I have something to play. Discard one or more cards. I think when it dies, it gets that back, right? Yeah, so he'll lose. He'll lose those two. I get another trigger. I think that was the wrong play, but it's a play that I have to make. I'll keep the impulse because I need a card draw spell. It's 10 damage. It's big. As long as the Djinn stays alive, we're on a pretty quick clock. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have kill spells in there somewhere. There's no reason to play Esper and not have some kill spells. There's depopulate. Okay. So that's fine. Because the conductor's not too big. And he's running depopulate because he has the multicolored creatures. Alright. I'm going to take flow so that we can refill. Our next turn. Alright, Ledger Shredder. So spells are going to start getting a little weird. On my side. What does this Arbiter do? Battlefield or attacks. Alright. It's quite a bit of cards. Didn't have the mana to pay. Unfortunate. Alright. I think we have to flow to get our cards back, because we have to have protection spell. We're going to have big flyers in very soon. Very, very soon. Probably going to have to be next turn for sure. So we'll ditch an island, and we'll ditch an impulse. Next turn we'll be able to get up both gens. Yeah, it's not looking great on our side. He has a lot of triggers, a lot of connive action going on, which is really messing with everything on our side. That makes him pay 5, 6, 7. Can't be countered. So I can do this, ditch 2, make those 2 go away, take 3. I'm gonna go ward. I don't believe ward is opponent. Opponent controls, perfect. So it basically nullifies his Void Rend, takes his Arbiter out of combat. I take 4, which is fine. He's losing cards on his side. I'm gonna have to do it this way. Ledger Shredder first. Jin. We both trigger. That's fine. I get my trigger. Since he plussed, I'm not worried about it. Because they'll nullify each other in combat. I gotta keep the shore up to keep them out. Now I will attempt to trick them in combat and get 5 damage in where I can. No, that's not good. Combat from the terror isn't good. So if he draws a secondary kill spell, that means we're dead. Next turn. There's no ways around it. Because he has 7 in the air. I guess he needs 2 kill spells. Yeah. Neither one of us get the trigger. That's fine. Good one. There's a lot going on with his deck. I'm sure it's. He gets another trigger. Okay. Arbiter and Conductor together is pretty nice. All right. So if I kill him, he gets all that back. Basically refills his hand with everything that he's used. This can nullify. 5, 7. Swing back in. He's big, but he's not that big. He's not 31 damage worth of big. That'll nullify. Can I take 5? I'm gonna have to. Take 5 down to 1. All these cards. I'm sure he has a kill spell in there somewhere. Counter spell. Offer you can't refuse, huh? Alright, -1. Yeah, it's just too much. The Arbiter and the Interceptor together. That's awesome. That's a great combo. We'll go ahead and concede this one. It's a loss next turn either way. Alright, game 2 here. Pedmore, 1500. This is going to be a great keep. We got Ledger Shredder on 2. Terror later down the road. Multiple spells to connive if needed. I really like this. Azorius, blue-white. So Ledger Shredder should be good for a turn at least, unless they have the planes and a Officication. Full invite, that's fine. We'll do this. We'll just attack for 1. We'll try and use spells in their turn if needed. I'm not too worried about racing. They might be going just humans. The Overseer. I'll take the Consider. And end of turn, I'll consider. Actually, end of turn, I'll Fading Hope so that I can send back their mana turn. Basically, use it as a tempo play, and that kind of guarantees damage next turn. Let's get rid of the Swirl. Not too worried about them going too wide. Consider. Let's see what's down there. Flow is good. I'm gonna use it to restock our hand. I'll Impulse whatever I grab off the Impulse. I'm probably gonna ditch. Yeah. Just to make it a little bigger on our side. The Djinn makes the Flow castable now. Or next turn at least. Cast the Djinn, reduces the cost of Flow of Knowledge, so I'll be able to cast it the following turn. Djinn's gonna have 5 points of damage, and Ledger Shredder's kind of out of kill range for any creatures they may have other than bigger angels. So like this, the little guy, I'm not worried about him. He'll die in combat next turn. Take another 1. Take 1 damage. Perfect. He's out of mana. I have nothing to worry about. So I can Flow and Fading Hope. Basically do the same line as last turn. Trigger, Ledger Shredder. I don't think I need a second one. Thirst, another card draw spell. We'll keep that. And this is in for 10 damage. This is huge. Puts him at a 2-turn clock. Oh, 4. Oh. Forgot about haste. Bigger Angel Vigilance. No, not too worried about it. So next turn I can Flow, put a land down, put a Terror. Trigger Connive again on the Shredder, and be good to go. Basically at this point using the battlefield, using combat as target spells, because he's gonna have to block. He might be looking for a kill spell, yeah, which is great. Targeting the Djinn. If I kept that 1 mana up, we'd be able to keep him alive. I'll still get rid of the Thirst. That'll add another counter up here to the Shredder. So now we got to keep in mind he does have protection spells. For his creature, he might be able to use those in combat. I should take 1 damage. Another Djinn. It's all Djinn and I'll just Terror. Go to combat, see what he does. If he takes damage, then I'll put the Haunting Djinn out, which I will. So it's going to trigger the Ledger Shredder again. The only reason why I was hesitant is I wanted to keep the Slip Out the Back for protection, but I don't have any mana. It would have been beneficial last turn as well to keep the previous Djinn alive. So I'm going to get rid of the Flow this time. Keep the Thirst. I'll be able to cast the Thirst and Slip Out the Back next turn, depending on what I draw. Another Knife for me. I'll get rid of the island. So these creatures on the ground I'm not too worried about, because they're not able to do enough damage, and the Terror will eventually chip them away in combat. The ones in the air, I'll definitely win combat, there's no issue there. But I do need to get them out of the way so that I could swing in for lethal. It's just vigilance. Why would you throw your creatures away like this? That doesn't make sense to me, because now I have lethal in the air. That's unfortunate. Maybe he thought it had indestructible, If it had indestructible, then his Vigilance guy would have been able to block. Kind of just gave up lethal. That's unfortunate on his side. Oh, there's bronze 2. Big upgrade for the account. We only got 2 more ranks to go before we get into silver. Alright. Dr. John Toasterman. Definitely the best name we came across. Alright. 3 mana, Ledger Shredder. Opponent goes first. I'm going to keep this. If opponent is red, we do have a good chance with the Ledger Shredder. Got a white. Toxics. Okay. Hopefully it's not too bad. Oh no, magic. No. Come back to me. There it is. Cool. Alright. We're going to use this Fading Hope to buy us some time. Hive comes in. That's fine and dandy. Get rid of this real quick. Saves us a little bit of tempo. We're gonna need blockers on the ground, so we'll keep the Terror. Put in the Shredder. Hopefully he doesn't have a kill spell. It depends how he plays. It depends how he plays, whether he goes wide or whether he decides to chip in whatever damage he can. See, my wife chimed in there. She wants to play a game or two. Let's impulse and see what cards we can get. We definitely want the Djinn. We want more blockers. I'm going to hold up the Fading Hope and the Shore Up for next turn. I'll block one of his guys and then I'll protect mine. But I definitely want to get those spells cast so that I can get the Terror out faster. So I will be using them at the end of the day. I don't think he has kill spells, so I'll block here. Just -1, that's so his creature doesn't die, which I'm fine with. And then I'll bounce this guy. Thirst, we don't need. Another land would be beneficial. So at this point I'm just trying to hold off. There's a land. I'm gonna keep the March. I have to keep the March because of how wide they get. There might be a turn where I just need to shut everybody off. Djinn. Definitely going to be taking damage next turn. Toxic damage on our side. He'll be able to swing in with 3. Okay, 4. I think this should have had something else attached to it. I think it should have had you lose 1 life. Oh, it does have you lose 1 life. You lose 1 life and create a 1/1 Phyrexian Might artifact. Now when he attacks with multiple, I'm not going to kill this guy because he's the same as these little dudes outside of the protection aspect of it. But he's legendary. So if I kill him and he has another one in hand, he could just cast it at that point. So I don't want to deal with that. And as long as he's not going too wide with these creatures, we can still block and maintain combat. Wedding announcement's fine. Because right now we have 10 on board. It's a 2-turn clock for him. So, assuming we don't take too much toxic damage, we could actually end the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's go for lethal. Let's do it. So there's 10. I can march and either protect or get rid of his attackers on his main phase. So potentially take in 4 more toxic, but swing back in for lethal. Yeah. So I don't play toxic decks, so I don't know exactly what they're capable of. But I'm going to take them out of combat. Just for the reason of I don't know what toxic pump spells there are. There's little niche cards here and there that could potentially win them the game. Maybe, and I have to look into it, maybe there's a card that adds an additional toxic for each toxic creature attacking, or something of that nature. And I just don't want to deal with it. So swinging back in for lethal. He sees it's good game. That's a good game. So it really makes me think, how do you go wide? What's the concept of going wide? You have to go wide and then have a pump spell, right? Not just a wedding announcement, but a bigger pump spell. Something that gives each creature like +2, +1, some type of buff in that sense. I know green has a lot of that. That's why you see a lot of like Naya tokens, green-red. They typically have a trample or something of that nature, anthems. So it's just confusing to see it on his end. Why would he attack in, even though those creatures can't block? Why would he attack in and waste the lives when he eventually could go wide enough and get enough damage in that way? But it's all just Magic concepts, how you play and how you perceive the game. Lemon Witch. Alright, I go first. I do have 2 draw spells that can get me out to the 3rd land. No protection, so if it is mono red or something of that nature, something that has some early aggression, we might be in a little bit of a pickle. But let's give it a shot. I'm going to wait for the consider until the end of their turn so I can see what color they're playing. Green-red, so they might have some burn spells. We will keep the island for sure. And another one, because that's how it always goes. And Raging Wolf, so it's going to be... should be green-red wolves. Which means we gotta get moving. Flow. Ledger Shredder's good. And another island. Put this guy out and nullify some damage. If he does stay alive, he could gain some counters, which will definitely help us with blocking. But that little pup, man. Little pup got me yesterday, too. So they shouldn't have too much interaction outside of the burn spells. So I might be able to get this going. I'll attack in the air, take one. I guess he could have stayed back and blocked the pup, but you never know what pump spells they have, what anthems. Planeswalkers. Come on, Magic. Come on, figure it out.
I'm ready to fight.
What? Okay, so he gains one every time you have another wolf. Gotcha. Slip out the back. Alright, so let's thirst. See if we can get something like Fading Hope. Perfect. Let's get rid of an island. Fading Hope, get rid of the pup. Another slip out the back, that's awesome. Yeah, let's get rid of it so that we can get a +1 on the Ledger Shredder, and he could start blocking that Rage Wolf. He's going to be good for 2 good blockers. In the future, the Terror in hand and the Terror on top of the deck. I don't mind taking whatever damage this Ridge Wolf is going to give us, because they don't seem to be racing. They're not burning us out either. But I will keep up the slip out the back for a protection spell. And if he messes around too much, I may consider also and trigger Connive on the Shredder again. That might be the play. Tolovar has a lot of text. When a wolf or werewolf you control dies, combat damage, or deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more wolves, transform. Alright. I'm fine with that. Yeah. Let's connive there. Now I don't have to consider. I can, now I don't have to consider. I can actually toss it to the connive trigger. Gives me the same effect, and I don't have to waste the mana on my side. So we have 9 in the air. So after 1 additional spell, we're looking at lethal, and these 2 big dudes are coming down as blockers. So we shouldn't have any issues. This should be the game, unless they have some type of interaction that I'm not anticipating. But it's kind of rare for red to have something that can deal 4 damage or 5 damage outside of like older spells. Green can fight, but they're not big enough to kill either of the creatures one-on-one. So this should be game, assuming I'm not missing something. There's combat. Wrote me there for a little bit. Timeout and a half we went through, but that's fine. He's also out of mana. Oh, 3 terrors? Alright, that's easy. He may consider conceding after this. March. I'm going to keep the March because I can protect multiple people. And I kept the second terror in hand so that I can connive. Maybe I'll come up on something better based on his spells that he casts. Just to leave my options open. Yeah, this should. I don't register, or I don't recognize any spells that could screw us over. We have 2 big blockers. They're only going to get 2 to 3 damage in combat if they do attack, and if they don't attack, they have to deal with something, the Shredder and the Djinn in the air. So that should be lethal. I wouldn't be surprised if I get roped out here. And he gave up. So that's good. A good game on our side. The Green Wolves deck, we played them yesterday. They don't have much interaction with us. So as soon as we get something down that's big enough to block, and then additional spells in the graveyard, we kind of just run away with the game. And then having the two terrors on the battlefield also just shore up the ground game and means they can't race us at all because we have blockers on our side. But pretty good match on our side. Alrighty, guys, that's going to be the games for today. We did rank up to Bronze 2. We came across quite an interesting deck, the Connive deck, that beat us in Game 1. He just had a lot of synergy, and we don't have removal. So there's nothing really much we can do around that. He's just playing his deck the way it's meant to be played. But then we overcame... I want to say that was Orzhov Humans or Angels. Don't know exactly what the deck would be considered. It's probably a lower tier deck. We're still in Bronze, so we're not seeing much meta decks. And then Game 3, we faced against Wolves, and the Wolves didn't really stand a chance once our creatures got big enough to block effectively. But outside of that, we're Bronze 2, 4 marks. Pretty good games. We have 8 days left in the season. I easily see us getting into silver, possibly gold, the way these games are going. I just need to get more games in whenever I can. But I appreciate you hanging around with me. If there's anything that we can add to the deck budget-wise that could effectively act as removal that's still in theme, please put those in the comments down below. They have to be an instant or sorcery, and have to be able to benefit us also, or protect us, not just straight removal. So I'll be looking out for those in the comments, and I'm just glad today that we didn't miss lethal. I'll see you guys next time.